Hey guys, and welcome back to another round of cheap shit from Alibaba. Today we're going to be talking about lights and lighting modifiers. And everything you're about to see is going to come from Aliexpress, not Alibaba. So it's the retail website, not the wholesale one. You should have no trouble ordering in any of these items. Let's jump right in. So first off, we have this Snoot, which is a terribly fun word to say, Snoot. This is a basic Snoot, not an optical one, which means it lacks a lens at the front of the housing here. It's got no capability of focusing light. It can only cut it down because it's really just a basic black metal cylinder. It comes with a honeycomb grid at the front here, and you can mount a series of circular gels in this front plate and place them in like so. Now this one's for the Andoer brand, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. But if you have a look on the B&H Photo Video website, you'll see that there's a bunch of near identical Snoots for sale for about twice the price. Best guess is that there's a central factory somewhere in China just pumping these things out, and different companies are just putting their names on it. I wound up buying two of these because they're only 10 USD a piece, and I think they're pretty fantastic. They're a well-made, durable, simple bit of kit that add a lot of versatility to a lighting setup. I use mine all the time for product shots and edge lights, like I'm doing right now. And quite honestly, if you don't have something like this in your kit already, you should rush out and buy one. Next, we have the Nunupho BDO4 Barndoor kit, which as near as I can tell is another exercise in brand engineering. A quick Google search will show dozens of identical products being sold under different brand names, including the much more famous Godox brand. It says it's held in place by a Bowen's mount, but that's not actually true. Instead, it sits on top of your reflecting cone via these little hooks here and this rather strange little spring clamp. It's made from a durable looking black roughly finished metal. It comes with a honeycomb grid at the front and a series of handy gel plates that are held in place by these little magnets at the front here. Unfortunately, it's a bit shit. It's heavy and drags the front of your light down. These clamps at the back don't sit snugly on the reflecting cone, meaning there's always light spill. And the barn doors themselves are way too small and misshapen. There are big gaps in them, and it's really difficult to shape the light the way you might want it. The only good thing about this unit are those gel plates, but honestly, they're not worth the 22 USD I paid for this thing or the hassle of lugging this thing between sets. Next, we have these RGB LED miniature panel lights. Now, you may not consider them to be a piece of serious filmmaking equipment, normally the sort of thing reserved for single camera influencers, but hear me out. They're really handy when you just need like a little bit of colored detail light in the rear of your scene, or if you're shooting in a small cramped space, such as the inside of a cupboard or maybe the interior of a car. They're lightweight, they're cheap, they're robust, and you can just throw them into your lighting kit and forget about them. They're also super handy to have around the house. I mean, this one's covered in plaster dust and motor oil because I've used it in my roof cavity and under the hood of my car many times. They're small, they're lightweight, they're handy, they come with a full range of effects and colors. They usually come with a cold shoe mount and a 1/4-inch screw, so they're easy to attach to things. You should definitely own a few of these if you don't already. The only question is, which one? The nicest one I've had the pleasure of using is the Aputure RGB WW LED. It's lighter, thinner, brighter, and wider than the alternatives. It's at least partially made of metal. It has these cool magnetic strips at the back, and even though it doesn't have a cold shoe mount, that means it's actually got a much smaller profile, so it's easy to slip in really tight spaces. Next, we have the Neewer RGB 61 LED, which has pretty much the same colors and effects as the more expensive Aputure, but it's fatter, it isn't as wide, it isn't as bright, and it does come with a little cold shoe mount at the bottom here, which means you can do this and make like a little RGB LED Voltron if you want to. This one doesn't have the magnetic backing strips, but I'm told the newer version of this model does. See, I've had this one for quite a few years now, and despite me ill-treating it for a very long time, it's still working beautifully. This last model is an unbranded one I found on Aliexpress a few weeks ago called the GZ49R. It's the lightest of the three, but that's because it's also the least bright and has the worst battery life. It has no LCD screen at the back, and the build quality is really flimsy. So why would you buy it? Well, the Aputure weighs in at a princely 90 USD a unit, and seeing as I reckon you should have a few of these things lying around, that cost adds up pretty quickly. The Neewer 61 is only 22 USD a unit, so for the price of one Aputure, you really can buy 4 or 5 of these things and get yourself like a little Voltron panel. As for the little unbranded GZ model, it's only $6 USD shipped. You can buy 15 of these things for the price of one Aputure. And in terms of functionality, in terms of what it can actually bring to your shoots, there's not a lot separating them really. Sure, the extra $84 for the Aputure does buy you better build quality, some magnetic strips, better battery life, and slightly better brightness, but I'm not sure if it's really worth the price difference. I should note there's another unit out there that I'm yet to try, the Andoer W140 RGB LED, which has much the same profile as the Aputure, but is only $20. Next, we have these RGB LED wand lights, or tube lights if you prefer, and they're basically miniature Titan tubes. They perform almost the exact same function on set as the panel lights we just talked about, except they're bigger and more powerful. I've taken this one here camping several times, and the only complaint I've had about it from people is that it's too bright. First off, we have the Andoer W150 RGB LED for about 30 USD. It comes with a 1/4-inch screw at the base, a sturdy plastic construction, and a steel backing plate. I can tell you from first-hand experience that it's a pretty tough unit because I've had it for several years and I haven't taken care of it. And in spite of that, it's still working just fine. Next, we have the Nunupho H1, which is only 20 USD, but it's lighter, it's thinner, it has a much flimsier build quality. You can see it flexing under my hand here. It's got a weird rubber ring around the buttons, which aren't as responsive as the Andoer, but it does have an LCD screen at the front here. Overall though, I would buy the Andoer, because for only an extra $10, you're getting a much hardier, more robust piece of equipment that I think is very unlikely to let you down. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you found any of this useful, do like and subscribe. The links for all the items I've talked about are in the description below, and I'm not making any money off this video. Thanks again.